5 minutes. I ain't even got the stream prepared because I wasn't on yesterday. What was I doing with this again? Oh, I was trying to find the ammo. I don't know which one's there. Because I don't see a 25. I mean, I've got a bunch of 30 mil. But hello everybody, welcome to the stream. We'll probably get properly started with the stream by going over everything that I've done, everything we're gonna do today, well, in this stream, hopefully. And pretty much what I've been up to. Because right now I've been on this in like 5 days. So I don't even remember what I've done. Other than that, I needed ammo for my heli. I've made my coffee too hot. Ooh. I just need to open up all my streaming apparatus on my BZM phone. No, I don't think I'm going to get much views. Captain Jack's on. No, Captain Shack. No. There's other people doing it. Once the stream hits 10 minutes, we'll properly get into what we're doing. That's up. I actually need to go to create dashboard, so I've got my stream deck. I know I'm live. Manage my stream. Let's just turn down. Follow stuff should be done. Nah, I've only got 6, so I'm not going to do much. I also need my... Oh, none of my overlays are on. That sucks. None of my overlays are actually on. To do anything with it until I stop streaming so I can edit it. Oh, that sucks. Oh well. Right. What we're doing. Right. So if I remember rightly, I was doing the ammo for the doing the ammo for my new heli. Doing stuff on the. I'm going to show off the rover, the base, putting in a new power supply, and hopefully loading onto the base. So this is the new helicopter that I printed off. It's the same as the one that's up at the hilltop base, which I actually left down here. Flew down. Bloody forgot. That's why I actually need to get my hydrogen stuff and refill my energy. We've been sat here for the past 20 minutes. Hydrogen bottle. I'm carrying around 30ml ammo boxes. Yeah, I don't need to be carrying them, which is fine. A bunch of material left over. I've still got five engineer plushies to put down, but they're getting put in the space station. Right, so this is the advanced version of the Scout Heli. As you see, it's got pylons that have, by default, it's these 25mm chain guns with 3 cargo containers for the maximum amount of ammo to hold, and it's got 4 of them. I did make this. We'll add the pylons in creative when I was designing this version, because originally I wanted rocket pods. Again, rockets need uranium. I have none, so I switched around for these 25mm Gatlings or autocannons. On this one, we have a flat cannon on top, and an artillery cannon underneath. This is literally just for long range, sort of like sniper shots and taking down aircraft. It's pretty much an anti-aircraft weapon. It's got its 30mm chain gun. None of this is loaded. I know it's not loaded because I haven't actually put anything in it yet. It does fly. I've had to reconfigure this one because it was. Let me just do that. It uses the 4 medium, which is just like the other one. So what I'll actually do, I'll go up to the hilltop base of the now. I'll let you see what I've been doing. Yeah, see the pylons look a bit flat on the top. I need to sort that out. It needs something on top. So I'll probably end up slapping another battery on. There you go, there's the base in all its glory. Well, half of it's cool, because right now the bit of the base that's open with the 2 conveyors sticking out of it, that's the power room. Because the solar panels are alright. There's 8 solar panels on top with batteries underneath them. I think cells of 6 that I've got, and they were doing alright. They were doing absolutely fine until I put the refineries in, and now the refineries pretty much take all of the power. Land down. 3. There we go. See, I like this little arrangement of stuff for it. Only thing, so I wanted to make a custom turret for this stream, but I don't actually have everything needed for it, let alone the power to keep them running. Where it replaced the cargo container in the center with a conveyor, so the ammo will be fed in the back and also go out the other side. Now I don't know why this guy's more focused on me than the heli. Trying to get fixated on it. There we go. These 2 are fixated on the rover, which is out there, which is the only way I could get it flattened, by the way. These containers I'll explain in a minute, well, when I get to them. But yeah, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 spotlights. there are no defenses on this base right now, which I'll need to get done off camera because I'll have to do a bunch of digging again. I've done the radar dish that was on the mining outpost and the valley outpost that has the exact same radar dishes, which is this is going to be the main antenna. This is going to be an emergency beacon, and the one on top. So I'm going to lower this one down. I think 50,000 is what they go out to. I'm going to lower this one down to around 10k. So 10k out, you get a warning saying that the turrets are active and all that jazz. Right. So along the walls in here, we have these little tubes. These are energy storage units. They'll be recharged in 84 days. They are massive. That's a part of the power solution. We've got 6 O2 generators because I plan on massively overhauling hydrogen and oxygen production for space. I just see the colouring I went for is a green and grey, which is the base colour scheme for my faction, which is the Royal Brendian Guard faction. There we go. Well, Royal Brendian Army, but the colours I'm using is from my Guard sub-faction. We've got hangar doors in place. Those are annoying to weld up. I've got doors to put in all around, which I'll probably use the rotate doors so I can have everything sealed. This is where the power unit's going to go. I need to extend this room out because I made a bit of a miscalculation of the space where I wanted to duplicate it, but this I had to extend, as you can see there. This platform I made, I'd extend it a bit, which I believe I'll have to do with this side, so I'll like mirror it. But I've gone for a sort of like hangar bunker style, sort of like munitions depot feel. But here's the refineries. I put 2 refineries in, and 2 of these yields. The other 2 will come from the one down at the valley base. I went and got a bunch more from the outpost just over there. Everything that's in right now is hooked up. Everything is hooked up. My only problem with it being these consume a lot of power when they're on because of the yields, which is what I want. The power efficiency I don't really need to worry about because I'm going to be building large power plants and power stations, because I have the deuterium reactor mod on, which is what's going to here. I'm going to be putting in I think it's, I don't even have the blueprints. I didn't even check them. I've got it on just to see which one I was using, because I went and gathered all the parts for it. Hide empty. This is all the parts required. A little bit extra parts in here because I was building grinder up, but I just wanted to drop everything and get down to the valley. But magnetron components, they were so hard to get to the point I actually had to buy them. I had to do stuff other than mining to get them, but I have them. They're pretty big, and I can only carry up at 196 per shot. So there was a point when the scout heli that's now on the back of the rover was strapped with a second up rotor up at the back and a bunch of small cargo containers, pretty much covering most of this side and this side, just to carry it all back. And it's heavy. The magnetron components are heavy, so I had to do that. pretty much, I have conveyors coming out this side because I want to make a miners area over here, so that where all the miners, grinders, and welders will go. I've got a welding pit and a grinding pit, just in case one of these take damage. I'm going to try and stick a projector on the inside of these somewhere, or probably just stick it up top next to the rotor. And everything is run through this one conveyor. If I go underneath, there we go, that's it. That's what it's all running through. I'm wanting to put a junction, another junction here, and have it split into these two, and then another one pretty much going all the way along, just in case one of them, if one of them gets taken out, it should still function. There's no enemies. Oh, this was a bitch to do. I had to completely glitch out the terrain, mine a little bit so I could place a bit more, and then bring it up into the refinery. Now, I wanted to put in a connector on the platform, but again, it'll be in the way for my bigger transports because I want to get a bigger transport in. I want to get it in the game, probably not on stream, because it will take pretty much years to print. So I'll probably end up setting it off printing off stream, leave it for a couple of minutes, and it should be fine. But these helicopters need modernized heavily because the heli blades are good for atmosphere, but I've also installed a mod called the thermal thrusters. Now, thermal thrusters are pretty much like the ions that you use up in space. The thermals are like that, are way more powerful in atmosphere than they are space, but they can be used in both. And that they're powered by electricity, they're not powered by hydrogen or that. So I could widen out the body of the helicopter. I'll probably do it in the design phase again for the next model. Because I mean, this model isn't even finished. I couldn't finish it just because of the rocket launcher. Because it was two rocket launchers, one on the top, one on the bottom, and they were turrets. Something I don't want to put in, let alone it wasn't. I don't actually have the mod on the server for it. I'll probably end up putting a small PDC on it and have it only target missiles. The chain gun itself isn't loaded. I'll make 3 ammo boxes for it. The grinder pit itself I haven't tested, nor have I tested the welder pit, but I know they work because this is the same setup I've used on the server, except from they were lower in the ground and had glass on top of the welders. Now, what's my hydrogen at so I don't do my flames? Right, I need to be careful. Over to the rover. As you see, it's got the same color scheme as the base, but it's a bit more cramped inside. I did this in a bit of a hurry so I can get done with the stream coming up, but I have full intentions on having a connector back here go to, well, conveyors go into a connector, which will then attach to another connector, which will then be on a trailer. But I don't know how to properly do it without ripping everything in two. So I've got to get that sorted out. Now, this is more of a scout base than a mobile base. I couldn't get a refinery on, and I wasn't. I think I've got one assembler on. Actually, no, I don't think there's any assemblers on here. But this top bit here houses its main power unit. This is using a deuterium reactor, which I believe is on and powered because I fed stone into it. Which is actually going. I had to test it out, so it got thingied in. It was only 1 gigawatt, so which is the base, which is cheap, or way cheaper than what I was doing. These are empty, so it must have ate up all my stone. Here are the deuterium reactors. Deuterium processes. As you see, they have a bunch of deuterium in place. And ice in its... well, I hope it wasn't using the ice at all. Because the deuterium processes have 20 deuterium in them. I don't think I've wired up the reactor. I think I just threw it down without thinking. I need to check that. And I need my admin tools on to use Ep.5. Alright, we're back down here. Right, so for the base, in here, I can actually show it off. I had full intentions of sticking batteries underneath this, but again, me thinking it might be better not to, because then it'll be a bit of a target. Which was more of the fact of... more of the fact of I didn't want my only proper communications tower taken out. None of this is done. The welders are not done. I mean, the helos inside are the same, with a little bit of storage. And here, the inner workings of the base, where the central conveyors, I've used the armor ones here, as I've shown before, going to the deuterium, which shouldn't be working right now. So here you go, here's the, no, it's yellow, but it's piped up. Is it? Yeah, it's piped up. Well, why isn't it accepting deuterium? Why isn't it not accepting deuterium? I mean, it's produced a lot of it. Oh, here's the other side of it. So as you see, I'm using regular airs. I want to switch out for pipes because pipes look a little bit cleaner, which is my preference. I'm using rotating doors for it. The helm. Helm's being replaced by 3 control seats, but each control seat will have a different thing to do. I just need to set it up first. So the central one's set to the main cockpit, so it's the one that drives. The right one, I want access to the right-hand side turrets, and the left one, the left-hand side turrets. I just need to set it up. There's, I believe, a total of 4 cargo containers, 4 small cargo containers on here. The survival kit is on here, but all it does is act as a spawn point. There you go, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 8 of these PDCs around it. The reason being, I didn't want to leave this unprotected. I also have a PDC on the top. This one will be replaced by a 300mm ×1 cannon from the battle cannons and turrets mod. That will replace, just so I've got something heavy. This is the original heli. This one's painted, not well, but it's painted. This is before the pylons. This is the actually, I think this is the original one that I've had to repair constantly. Well, this one over here is not painted, it's got pylons, and it's needing a bit of a power boost. Now, if I go back to here and fly back over to the base, this hilltop base will be my sort of like main factory base. but I think the deuterium reactor's not working because it's, for some reason, it's saying I don't have access to it. So let's actually go and find out why. So if I type in reactor right now, it shouldn't show up in my screen. It does. Hold on, I need to turn off my creative because I've just wasted a fuck ton of hydrogen now. So stupid. Right, that's off. Gee, that's probably why it took some time to load, because it was loading everything because I had my creative menu on, creative tools on. I could have in fact gone into my creative tools, spawned in the ammo needed for my weapons, and then just said that I created it, but I don't actually know what ammo the 25mm cannons use. It says it uses, that's chambered for Gatling ammo, so I'm guessing it might be the Vulcan, or, well, Gatling turret ammo from the base game. So I'll have to make some. Right, no I don't, but I have access to regular ones. Right, progression. Right, deuterium reactors. Oh wait, what? The biggest is 210? It needs a gravity generator. Oh, and I build the jump drive to get a dual railgun. When the decoy is needing the Gatling turret. Okay. I think I might have to build a Gatling turret so I can get some decoy set up. I want decoy set up just in case, well, I am attacked, because I do have encounters on. I think I might set up some decoys when I turn on asteroids, because I was messing around with that for a bit, both on planet and in space, on my creative shipbuilding world, and it was mental. Especially if you have it on Armageddon. Well, the unrealistic one. I think it is Armageddon. Or Cataclysmic. No, I think it is Armageddon. But let's just say on my creative world, when I spawned in one of my bases, which it was stocked with ammo, the ammo was gone in the first 2 asteroids. Meteor strikes. So I think I might turn on the meteors, which will be freaking amazing. I need to turn on my fighter pilot and gunner cockpit. I need to do that, so I can put that on it, so I can have 2 in the helo. I need to obviously get down a few heavier turrets. I need some interior turrets set up, but probably won't make the ammo for it just yet. There's no one else on the server for me to need it. Building a gravity generator will be good. I believe it needs cobalt though, or uranium. But the safe zone will be good. I think zone chips you have to buy. I don't think you can make them. But if I can get my deuterium reactor set up, then all's good. Because I mean, I currently have it set up for 30 gigawatt. That's how much Megatronic components were needed. How much is needed for a 210? Because this one, I don't know. Oh, it's megawatts. Yeah, this is gigawatt though. Unless gigawatts a part of it. Right, so let's see about getting a gravity generator. Unless I just do this. I press Shift F10, which takes me to the workshop. Where if you don't have your creator tools on, there we go. So you can actually see what I've been working on there. The RWI Vengeance cannon refit. That one there uses Star Wars weapons. I wanted to keep it because it took too long to do. It's a big ship. Let's just say I had to put all the engines on it just to move it. But see, I've got ball turrets set up, X203s, which I don't want to use, but I might use the Gatling upgrade V3 or even the V2. My Space Command, I want to put down. I want to use it, but I can't. My crowd transport, which is pretty much my massive spawn bay. A cargo transporter itself. A rocket tank quad assault cannon. A Gatling tank autocannon tank assault variant. A static grid, which I use for testing stuff. A Bobcat. A large grid 8111, which is my battleship cannon. Not the battleship cannon turret, like in the few mods. This is a custom turret using large grid artillery cannons. I believe it's the Little Davids, I think it is. At least I believe it's the Little Davids. My Nod Alpine's command station, which actually puts together 2 wooden outbase, which was hard to do. Vagabonds, this is when I was actually on Mars. Space. That was my first instance of a ball turret, I think. Tank Lyric. Terminator 140mm by Luxius, I don't know, but they made the original tank Lyric. I took the cannon off it, and it's what I've been using to make my rocket tanks and all that. Obviously, I'm not publishing them yet, but I'll have to mention this original one. My Nod Resources and Power Building. This one took a while to make. I did it on a survival map. It looks odd. It uses PDCs and the Gatling turrets from base game. It wasn't the best. My light armored convoy wasn't light at all. It used battle cannons and that. My civilian transport, this is what I wanted to bring in, but I didn't want to use it just in case obviously it didn't look right. Now my Nod Space Outpost, this was the original one to my Space Command. All I did was put a massive metal flooring on and a few more buildings. My Nod Space Freighter was one that I captured. I captured a space freighter, swapped out all the AI stuff, took out timers, took out programmable blocks, and the remote control. I actually replaced the remote control. The Nod Command and Control Station, which you see here, the 3 buildings. There's 3 of these. My first instance of my convoy truck. It uses azimuth stuff. The azimuth batteries are alright, but take forever to charge. The plume, which is inside this deluxe starter base, which I could have spawned in, but I didn't. Encounter safe house. I started doing this with encounter stuff so I can have a look at them in a bit more detail. The Rust Freighter is what my Nod Freighter, Nod Space Freighter is the Rust Freighter. Control Outpost Base. This base goes a while back. due to differences in my base making. This one was way far back. It was actually the starting instance which made me want to build my weapons facility. The TGI outpost. I believe this one is an iteration of the control post. Valkyrie cargo variant. It just has a bunch of medium cargo containers at the back of it. And I took the guns off it, other than the front ones. Small rovers. A JHK minor atmospheric, which was part of a different, much bigger workshop vehicle. A bunch of other stuff that I bought and then thingied on Mars. No, it's on Earth. Interesting. Okay. This is a gun pad using the Star Wars weapons. I designed this gun pad to pretty much annihilate anything. The asteroid, ship, or person, they do not live. Because the closer you get to these weapons that are on that bed, the more accurate they get. So it's more of, if they're far away, they're going to be flinging lasers at you. And these go for about 8,500. A care package which is used on servers. Someone gifted this, or brought a care package over for me with ice. I took a blueprint of it, so I've got it. The Victor of Man Fortress. This is my Space Marine faction. Well, Space Marine chapter. My Royal Brendian Guard is... Well, Royal Brendian Army is the army name, but my faction is the Royal Brendian Guard. They are my Imperial Guard from Warhammer 40k. As you see, I have a bunch of stuff for it. An assault tank, which was RCSP, I think I adapted the design from. Humvee Gunner, this came in a free stack. A TGI, the Grand Imperium, when I was in that phase of factions, held a very different, as you see, the ground control outpost. This is the RWI VH121 Vulture class. I decided to change its paint scheme. It's not all complete. There's still red on it from the RWI. This is the original cannon refit. As you see, there's some RWI ships that I was toying about with. TGI main base was way back. Scout buddy. Miners that are on a server. Base camp, which is a big base. Small alien planet cargo truck, which I used to pretty much I think it was before the economy update, but I knew about the economy update, so I wanted a cargo truck I could use to do missions in. Hydrogen truck. This was so I could fuel a lot of my hydrogen-based vehicles, which I have a lot of, and mainly the stuff that you buy from. Other stuff is all, well, when you buy vehicles in stations, then either atmospheric, hydrogen, or ion. Mostly it's hydrogen hybrids. So that hydrogen truck allowed me to process ice at a massive rate and fill tanks quite quickly. TGS truck. This was my first truck. No, it wasn't. This was my first functional proper truck. Different stuff I bought. The Encounter Corvette, which I went and captured. The Red Cruiser from the Creative. The Operations Center. This was such a pain in the ass to make. All because of how I made it. Because the Operations Center came from my Ghost's main staging ground. It was a combination act. Because you can see there's a ship on the end of it. Well, it's not a ship, it's a part of the base. I combined it, my first rocket, that was my actual transport truck. It detonated within a few seconds. The main base, was a bit of annoying. The reason why I've got multiple prototype rocket updated is this one's built for creative mode. This one's built for survival. This was the prototype rocket before it got its windows and all that. I just wanted something to get up. I just wanted to get up in space. But at this point, I was using atmospherics. My transport truck, not coloured, but it was finished. RCSP Arrowhead, which came off of I believe the Langley Mark III is what this Arrowhead. I wanted it because it was a decent fighter. Use it. My hydrogen plant, which was put down to facilitate the hydrogen engines, which was attached to my resources and power structure. The Valkyrie Mark V. I would like to bring this one over and put it in this world, but yeah, it's reactor batteries. The Cerberus battle cruiser will probably end up being my main cruiser or main ship when I get up there. But again, it's a battle cruiser. But this one is something I believe I've used before on a server. Can't remember how far back it was, but I used it. It was annoying, but I used it. It was hard to build because every intricate detail you had to get. Because Venom loves his fucking detail. Especially like half thingy blocks, which have been welded up completely. And most of the stuff there we go, of an old ship called the Jericho, or Jericho, I'm not sure. Chomper Mars rover, that disappeared. I had to remove it. That shouldn't be there. That's out my subscription list. Phoenix's Cut and Soul, RC Wyvern VTOL. I wanted to bring this one in as well, and then I found the Mark V Valkyrie. The Invictus Undefeated, the Dreadnought. This was an absolute ass to build. Let's just say it took me way longer than what I wanted. It was way too costly. Let's just say it wasn't supposed to be. It shouldn't have existed. As you see, it was uploaded by Glaston. I brought this into a different PvP server. It's a headache to fight against it. But as you see, it used mods, and a lot of servers don't have mods enabled, so you have to have these mods on for it to spawn. But I didn't use it. Star Citizen Constellation Phoenix, I have used before. The RWI Eclipse, I believe, is modelled off the Constellation. There you go. The RCSP Vanguard Tank Mark II is what my assault tank is. Recolored, and its weapon was changed out. It was fitted with something bigger. Avalon Corvette, Raven, sorting system. Because before people had proper scripts for Xbox, it was this, and you had to integrate it into your base and then put armor around it, because it came with no armor, which and it was annoying. But here are the RWI stuff, the Defender class, so, which Frontier, it's quite far back then. I do not redistribute any content that's been used by anyone else. So if you ask me for something, make sure it's something that I've built myself, not something that I have adapted. So my TVM stuff, the Victor of Man stuff, will not be uploaded. My TRB stuff, like the heli, my transport truck, my bases, they will be uploaded. You'll need the mods I have. I'll probably show my mod list in a later stream. But this is the vulture I use. But kind of changed the colour. I grayed it and I pretty much turned the red to green, the camel green, and then kind of fucked the paint job because I couldn't get into all the internal bits. The Landing Mark II, the Defender class. This is the Marauder class rover, which I enjoy using. Captain Jack made this so. Oh no, Jura 7 made it so well. To the point, I really enjoy using this. I've used it in a server before, constantly. It was pretty much my main go-to rover. I enjoyed using it so much, to the point I completely refitted it, taking out one
energy
of the
low,
adding another set of power. This is the Humvees, also by Alexius, who also made the tank Lyric. I used this one here for the TVM stuff. Starter base. This one was large battle cannons. This was the only way you could get them back in the day, when mods weren't. Does thingy delete the armor blocks beneath turrets and copy them if you wish to add them to your ship. You need pain grains variant of battle cannons and turrets for this mod to work, which you had to try and transfer over, but it didn't work. RWI Saber Interplanetary Fighter. I have tried it out once. I haven't properly thingied it, so I'm not sure. The Autominer Mark 1.3 works. It works. It is actually decent. I've used it before, and it worked. RWI 302. X302 complete. This is the one I used and retrofitted into different fighters, different classes. There's the RWI Eclipse. So the ones that have this marking on it is the stuff like the Blue Red Captain Jack, while all the other stuff is people have remade, like the Rover and F-22 Raptor. Use Decorative Pack 2, what is in survival, no mods, 4 Gatling, 4 hard points, and which have 4 rocket launchers on it. It's alright. Works in survival, it does. But you do a strike and have to go back to base straight away. You couldn't sit and thingy it. And you were quite easy to hit. RWI Hellhound. Captain Jack, just like RCSP and CNN. Yeah, this was before Captain Jack came over and uploaded all his stuff. There's the original Defender class that was on here, and there's a Mark II. This is the 40k Space Marine HQ. This is the one I used for my Victor of Man stuff. One of the things I expanded on it, changed it into a functional base. The Raven, Mark II, the RWI Battle Corvette. I enjoy switching the colour of this one from the red to the green. Well, before it was, no, I kept it red and black because I used it for my Nod stuff. Same with the F117 Nighthawk. Haven't used that one before. Cerberus, the RWI Cerberus, I've used before. The This 3D printer doesn't work. So if you see this one by Raz the Warlock, due to the updates and all that, this one doesn't actually work anymore. So hopefully if he sees this, he can fix it. Phoenix, the RWI Keep. UNSC Firebase, which is actually very intricate, and if you go to use this, make sure you've got land to do so, or spawn it up in the air. It is a structure, so it won't fall. Only problem being, you'll have to either extend the armor out into ramps so you can get stuff up onto it, or you're gonna spend a grueling time digging it out. The Warhammer Imperium Man Dauntless class light cruiser. This was hard. The reason why I say hard is because this ship itself is more creative than anything. There's no way of getting it into survival. It takes way too long to build. There we go. RDY Solar Mark III. This is the ship that's on my operations base. I wanted it on the. I attached it using merge and then integrated it all in. But I wanted it in because the RDY Solar Mark III had big refineries on it at the time, which I didn't want to build loads of. The Morgan.
Energy low.
This needed lots of work. The hull was great. I enjoyed the hull. I even I think I used it for one of my Nod stuff. Atlas never used. Hull Tech or Refinery never got working. What about land base? I was trying to model it off of my one off of that, but again I wanted everything to be thingied, be my own iteration. Repair yard would be good if it had welders, or a welder arm. Starter 2 times miner and transporter. The blue miner is the one I took a blueprint of. The heavy atmospheric miner I've used before, but it needs a bit of a redesign because it can't lift itself anymore. Mini grinders. The Sagarta basic miner is alright again, but as soon as you start mining and you get a decent amount of stone, it weighs down the craft and it's barely able to lift itself. There's the 40k Dictator class. This one was more of a pain to spawn in than fucking anything. And let's just say it took... I spawned it in once. It took 20 minutes to load. I don't know if there's any mods on it, because again, the description doesn't pop up for some reason. I uploaded my TGS stuff, or my TGS transport truck, because I made it myself, and painted. Home base. This base is pretty good.
Energy critical.
Oh, I'm getting phoned. send an emergency phone call. She was back in, except from the gravity stuff. With the gravity stuff, I'm going to throw it on the ground and grind it away. There we go. That was actually way quicker than I would have thought would happen. I thought I'd built it to scrap. Right. So we now have access to Deuterium. I wanted to get that done while I was on the phone. Hence why I was muted. I don't think you guys want to sit and listen to college stuff. Right, what we do? What I did? I coloured the base, put more stuff in. Boom, built up the base, needs the power, gathering materials for the new power line, so they should still be up there. Built more of the rover so it's functional with a new power plant and loading bay. Means of assembly at the hilltop base. That's because we're going to dismantle this assembler and move it up. We start the stone miners, we need to go up there and turn the stone, the drills on. Look into getting thrusted components. What do thrusted components need? I know I can't make them. Gold. Right. I'm going to need to take down the assembly.
Inventory full.
That's not good. What am I going to do? I'm going to throw this into the bucket.
Inventory full. Inventory full. Inventory full.
There we go. I'm going to leave these here because obviously these need to be connected. So they'll probably be taken away and I'll probably end up putting the glass back. Which was there when after the first one. This stays, these stay. I'll have to come back for the resources. Wait, what? One of my autocannon turrets is completely out of ammo. So I'll have to build a bit more ammo. That's my easy to. Alright. And the stone turrets are doing fine. Right, let's head up to the base and put down an assembly. One thing I should do though is put some spotlights out, or set some spotlights up for the base there. all the materials for the chain reactor should be in those crates. All they use is to get that assembly built inside. So we are going to need... I don't have an assembly in my hot bar. But it's been so long, so it's not even needed to. Unholy Wabbit, hope you're having a great stream. I am Unholy Wabbit, and welcome to stream for the first time chat. I'll probably put in some better ones later. We can scratch one thing off the list of what I used to do, and that's add means of assembly in Lego.base, which is now here. I'll probably put a second one in just for a bit of speediness. One thing I do need to do though it's only going to put down 1 gigawatt for now. Oh, that sucks. That's fine, we'll get it built. We'll build our way up. I want to put these I'll have cargo access in here. There we go. As these magnetron components are big, they're heavy, they're not exactly something I want to be sneaking around with in my inventory. Grab all these plates, let's throw down the first GT fusion reactor. It should be done with rain, because why not? Right, let's put the rest of the steel plates in here. Go get the rest of them. The only problem I'll have is getting the magnetron components, these fuckers, over to it. Oh, and the superconductors, they're going to be annoying. I had to go buy them as well. I think I did a bunch of missions, had over a mil, and now I think I'm back down towards feeling okay. There. All this just to get up to my 30 gigawatt, which is I'm going to the base on. Ribs, shoes, computers. The one thing I'll probably have a problem with is getting ice up here, since I don't have my... the one thing with these reactors before they're built, they are rather glitchy. otherwise they keep spawning. Ooh, I nearly just knocked myself out then. Now it needs 1,000 magnetron components. Oh, that's going to be Let's transfer over all this stuff, as it would be nice to have a cargo set up inside. Which will probably have conveyors come down to here. Now, do I want to use the armored ones? Oh, yeah, I might have the exposed pointing into a center. I believe it's just the, yeah, it's magnetron. Gathering all the materials needed for 30 gigawatt in it, I have to work my way back up again. 190 I can move at once. I might drop my most of my gear. No. Pistol. Drop my grinder in there. How much can I move now? And this is on the biggest infantry size as well. 199. And I need to move 1,000 of these. Oh, this is going to take forever. I need a mod to either increase my backpack size even more, or Keen Software House, please add bigger backpacks. Because this is torture. I don't see it for my doors. So I'll probably do off camera again, because again, those doors are finicky. They have to be a certain way around. Take a while, but I'm guessing it should only be, I say, like 3 runs, I think. Oops, I keep pressing. Is it F I'm pressing? I'm pressing F, but it's taking me to the remote access page for some reason. Let's shift F is. I don't know what the hotkey is for it. But I'm pressing it when I get to the container. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the 1 gigabyte pretty much chews through your utilities. Hence why I want to upgrade to the better one, so I'm not chewing through the deuterium because it uses up stone and ice. There you go, I'm in it. It's going to take forever. Hence why I've got 2 cargo containers, because there we go. Drop these in there. Let's go feed all those magnetron components through, bring that cargo container and stick it in the center again. Is this a bug or something? Where it, when you press F on a cargo container, it just takes you to the. Must be, because I was walking forward and pressing F then. And this is going to take a while. I think it took me about 15 minutes in my own time just to get everything collected. Which was a fuck ton of gold I purchased, and I used it all up making these. There it is again. nice flashlights shining on my head. Oh, well, one at least. Unless I just leave these out here and use what I need. Well, if I need more, I can go get some. Right. The one problem being, when I'm taking this down, it brings out the magnetronic pieces first. Oh, I'm just able to walk through it.
Inventory full. Inventory full. Inventory full.
I'm trying not to take too much HP off before getting these mechatronic
Inventory full.
components off, because I do not want to have to pick it all up.
Inventory full. Inventory full.
There we go. Right, so I should be able to stick down the next one. Oh, which should be the 2.5. Because my intentions are sticking two side by side. But I only have the materials for one, and I need to go get more gold. I need to see if I can find a gold deposit and stick it to the refineries. Because my intentions are sticking it sort of like that. And then, or even potentially, oh, that's my light armor block. I need to go with my welder. And swap out EU for welder. I have the 1.9 selected. Need more grinder again. Right, 2.5. I'm not sitting and doing this by hand. I'm building a welder. Right. What do I need for a welder? Grinder. Well. Oh, I can put down a grinder and a welder, so I can do it all kind of automatically. So let's go put it in build planner, grab the... We'll head back down to the base at the bottom, grab the stuff I need, head for it. Put these grinders and welders down, unless I can just go nick it from the outside. Just put it back afterwards. I think that might be a better idea since I've got 2 pits there. Which it's going to take a long time to load the G menu for some reason. I swear to God, if you've crashed, because it has not saved. There we go. Build plan, I've still got the gravity generator in there. Yeah,
Energy low.
that's actually annoying because I don't have a seat or a medical station up here in the base, so I'm going to have to go sit in the helicopter for a little bit so I can charge up. And it's also refill my hydrogen because of the O2 generator on board. No, this doesn't have an O2. Yes, it does. I'm lying. Yes, it does. Right. Grinder and welder bit. Should be off. Disconnecting the system so they're not going to be using anything, which is alright. I can always add them back to the groups. Decide to put them back. I think they just murdered each other. Oh, it's run out of my magnetron components, so I need to go bring them over. Fucking hell. Right. And because I got my grinder on me, I'm able to thing it. Great. Now I'm able to grab 99. Just time. Now the reason why I did it with the welder, because I can turn the welder off, grind down a little bit, put it back in, and use the grinder to fully thingy it. Though I might do a handheld grinder. Would be a good start. Not the drill. Guaranteed I'll forget. There we go.
Inventory full.
I don't know why that's a bug, where it tries to get me to
Inventory full.
grind down the stuff next to it.
Inventory full. Inventory full. Inventory full. Inventory full. Inventory full.
I'll be right back.
Inventory full. Inventory full. Inventory full. Inventory full. Inventory full.
There we go. Right. I need one steel blade. Nope. This one. Up to 7 gigawatt. So this requires 3,800. I have to go get that. All those. It's gonna take a while. So I know I could just turn on my creator tools, weld it up, that's it done, move on to the next one. But I've got the materials here, and when I grind it down, it will remake those materials, which will then give me more materials than what I started with, which will be cheating. And I don't exactly like to cheat in this game, because a lot of it's easy to do. You get everything in the game, nothing's paid away. Them down so we can carry, I think, 200 at a time. Yep, 200 at a time. Exactly 4,000 meters. I need bigger backpacks, Keen. I need bigger backpacks. The reason why these weren't connected, because I wasn't on about building a connection point, like, at all. Cargo container 6. I wish I could do that. Unless I just do this. This is slow straight down. Oh yeah, that conveyor's not actually connected. I'll remove all this afterwards.
Fuel low. Fuel critical.
That inside, but possibly put it on the other side or next to it. There we go. And I've drained my hydrogen with that. Oh well. it's starting to get expensive now. And I'm now seeing that it is getting stupidly expensive to the point of I may have to use creative mode to automate this. Why did I press G? It's gonna take forever to load. There we go. Right, I wanted Alt F10. Creative Tools. 5. Good right there. I forgot they can't get in their own ship. God damn it. Completely forgot they can't grind down their own ship. I mean, I'm inside it though. Right. Can I build a collector? I need that road. get rid of the collector and all that.
Inventory full.
That's already moved through. Right, that works. That works rather well, actually. Now there's a 15 gigawatt.
Energy low.
Yes, I know my energy low. Hold on. Can you tell I've given up? I've pretty much nearly given up where space is at this point. I'm using blocks that I haven't even fucking used in like a while, that's why. I haven't used collectors in a while. Unknown technology after research first.
Inventory full. Inventory full. Inventory full. Inventory full. Inventory full. Inventory full. Inventory full.
I like how it's saying I can target my rover, unless it's wanting to target the hell back. Now, right. I need the 7.
Full. Inventory full.
There we go, so I should now be up at my 30. There we go. Apparently there's a 210. I didn't know that.
Inventory full. Inventory full. Inventory full. Inventory full. Inventory full. Inventory full. Inventory full.
don't know why I'm so annoyed with this stream. It's something I wanted to do. I should have made sure that I kept the blueprint when I thingy my server and when I added it. If I knew it was behind the gravity generator, I would have made sure I had a gravity generator built, set up, so I was ready to just go and do a full thing of this. These must be parts that were left over. Throw that in there. This is rather annoying. It's going up 1% every time I go back and forth. That's just because I'm unable to carry loads. I'm getting there. Slowly, but surely I'm getting there. Screw it. There we go. And now have a 30 gigawatt deuterium fusion reactor. The amount of pain, that is the most painful instance of putting one of those in before. I was still in here, so give me a bunch of resources back. It was all the motors. The motors I would have been alright with, but it gave me fucking no. It gave me the magnetronic components, which is what has the gold in it, which I could. See, if I was doing this off screen and I accidentally did that, I'd just throw the magnetronic components into the assembler and deconstruct them. Should have given me gold for other stuff, but no. They're a modded item that are pretty much near end game. Well, I say near end game. I'm nowhere near the fucking end game. The magnetronic components are normally the stuff you want to make. for capital ships. I'm sticking one in a base just because I don't want to sort out power ratios. I don't want 2 of these. Right, let's get rid of it from the build planet. Ah, that was cancer. I want to get a PDC, the Seawees built. I might put the Seawees on top of the rover instead of the big cannon. Only because of what it is. Because if I go to here, display category, display name underscore category underscore ship weapon tools. It was going to be either one of these or one of these, or a 900mm autocannon. That's what was going to sit on top. But I think it might be better if I just used. It lags. I think it might be better if I just stick a Seawees PDC turret on it, because I now know what ammo it uses. It has its own specialized ammo. I was just too blind to see it. Action range 1,500, ammo capacity 1,500 rounds, fire rate 1,000 rounds per minute. In a minute and a half, it would have exhausted all 1,500 rounds. I'm gonna have to test it. I might go to my creative world, test it with the asteroids, because asteroids are pretty much always going to turn up and allow for testing. But it's going to be annoying. 2,000. Wait, you can go 2,000? Yeah. Oh, it's an artillery turret. I was like, why the hell could you go 2,000? 1,800 for the Warfare Star Stream. 2,000 for the autocannon. That's just a description rail cannon. That's just tall cannon. Oh no. 6,000. That's 3 times. It's a wolf. Oh, what's here then? 3 times the range of a regular railgun. I might use this one. So this is stuff I use. Chambered in Gatling ammo. That's all it says. Which I'm guessing it'd be the Gatling ammo boxes. Which means if I brought my materials up, I could build it. But let's drop this on the floor. Drop these motors on the floor. No, I now have a reactor in place. Is your reactor on? You have no power. How have you no power? Because the heli batteries, I think the heli batteries have these deuterium processors are the wrong way around. That makes sense. I wish I knew that. Kind of makes me
Energy low.
Use this and I'm done. Because I am severely broken this now. Oh no. There's bottom sides. Go. So hopefully when I next put a shipment of stone in here, it should hopefully fill these up and throw it about. But that sucked. I did not realize it was didn't have any power in it. Oh, I wish I knew that. You're gonna do. I'm gonna bring it closer. Stuff on top of the mobile scout base is a sensor array and 2 sensor pods, which allow so should an enemy be within a certain range, it will detect them and highlight them if you're inside the seat. one thing I do want to do though, probably in my own spare time, is go scouting out for a flat bit of rock. Because you saw that I had to apply the brake just to stop. Alright, so they're all pointing at the hill. Oh, that was lightning. I can only just sit in there because I kind of fucking I built one. I'm not going through the process of trying to sleep down in a second. There we go, that will give me like a nice looking gears. This road because I wish it cannot be arched. Resources. In this instance, you'll see what I'm able to do, how I actually formed the base. outside and then we'll play 2. I'll go ahead and see you guys can wait. I'll finish off what I'm doing here. I'll probably jump on stream again Sunday, possibly Saturday. I'll probably switch to the Modern Warfare stream. So I'm doing more of this, and I will see everyone later. I know it's not really much of a legit stream, but I got tired. I just want to get stuff done, and I'll see you all later.